and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavour show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into a stack of sources that really paint a picture, a very vivid one, of some intense community friction.
Yeah, we're talking financial drama, local gossip, the real physical side of farming. It all plays out in this very tight-knit setting.
Exactly. And our mission here is to sort of unpack these moments, whether they're happening in a church during the Harvest Festival or, down the pub later at the bowl.
And to see what's really at stake underneath the surface conversations.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot bubbling under there. Money, reputation, the whole rural versus city thing.
It really is about how personal stuff becomes public almost instantly, and how the land itself seems to dictate, well, everything, even basic manners.
Absolutely. You've got moments of just raw public shaming, real physical exhaustion.
Yeah.
It's all very human.
Okay, so let's dive in where things properly kicked off. St. Stephen's Church.
Right, the Harvest Festival service. And the sources make it clear this wasn't some quiet affair. It was completely packed out.
So everyone was there to witness it. High stakes from the start.
And the vicar, Alan, he starts with the sermon. Pretty standard stuff, right? Gratitude for the harvest, thanking the farmers.
Yeah, the kind of thing you'd expect. But Justin, one of the characters involved, he wasn't having it.
No, he immediately starts with the sarcastic commentary. Said it was the same sermon for the last 10 years.
A bit cynical, but then he goes further, doesn't he?
He does. He connects this local harvest theme to international food insecurity. Which is, quite a leap in that setting.
It's almost deliberately provocative, taking this comforting local moment and injecting this huge, complex global issue. And maybe some cynicism too.
Definitely sets a mood. And maybe that mood helps explain the explosion that followed between him and Brian.
Ah, yes, the main event. This wasn't just a disagreement, it was a full-blown argument.
Right in the middle of the service.
Yeah.
And it was about the shares. Justin wanting to sell his shares in the farm.
And Brian's reaction was strong. He wasn't just concerned, he was outraged. Said it was risky for the future of the land.
That phrase is key, isn't it? The future of the land.
Yeah.
It frames Justin's personal financial choice as a threat to the whole community's heritage.
It makes it communal, not private. Because land ownership here, it's clearly more than just owning stock. It's like stewardship.
Yeah, and Justin didn't back down when Brian pushed him. He just confirmed it. Oh no, I mean it. Just like that.
In front of everyone. Which led to Alice having to step in. She's related to Brian, and she brought Justin.
And her reason for stopping them. Because they were ruining this for Martha, a child.
It's telling that only the presence or the thought of a child could halt this fundamental conflict over land and money.
And the fallout for Alice was immediate. She was, the source says, furious. Not just embarrassed, but worried.
Worried about the gossip, right? The kids at school talking about Martha's granddad having a fight in the church.
Exactly, the social damage.
Yeah.
But that line about Justin.
Wow, which one?
Where she says she regrets bringing him and just calls him a man's a liability.
Oof, yeah, that's brutal. From family, too.
It just cuts through everything, doesn't it? Reduces him to the risk he represents. Socially, financially, a liability. Full stop.
And a vicar, Alan. He didn't mince words either.
No, he called it an embarrassing, unacceptable display. Public condemnation from the moral authority. Doesn't get much worse in a community like that.
It basically confirms the fight wasn't just awkward, it genuinely damaged something important in the community fabric.
So, from that very public, very financial drama, the scene shifts pretty dramatically.
Yeah, we followed Justin, the liability, away from the share battle and straight into manual labor.
It's quite the contrast. He's helping Adam on the farm, but he clearly expected something different, like paperwork.
Right. Thought he'd be behind a desk. Instead, he's out there feeding deer, fixing gates.
He even apparently fixed one gate quite well. Boasted about its motion, trying to sound capable, maybe?
While simultaneously complaining about how wrecked he is. The sources say he's knackered.
And aching all over. It gets very specific about the pain, too.
Yeah.
His shoulder.
Ah, yes, the rotator cuff mentioned.
He even knows it's a group of 4 muscles. It's sort of funny, isn't it? This guy dealing with complex financial structures, thinking about global food issues.
And he's completely undone by basic physical work. by 4 specific muscles in his shoulder.
It's a fantastic bit of irony.
Mhm.
His mind's on these huge abstract things like the future of the land, but his body's just failing him in the present on that same land.
He can make decisions about the land, but can't really handle the work of the land. And he's got admin piling up too.
Yeah, he's desperate for a bath, totally exhausted. And what happens next?
An invitation to the pub, of course.
Naturally. Do you want to go for a drink tonight? Just a bowl.
Yeah.
Despite being wiped out.
He says yes, maybe needing to smooth things over, or just escape the ick. Either way, off to the bowl.
And as soon as they hit the pub, the bowl, the conversation shifts again. Less about the church fight, more towards professional gossip.
Right. The focus lands on Stella. She used to be the farm manager.
And there seems to be this general agreement that she was good. That Brian was maybe a bit foolish to let someone like that slip through his fingers.
It hints at how valuable good farm management is, how hard it might be to find. But Alice, she steps in again, doesn't she? Corrects the narrative slightly.
She does. She pushes back on the idea that Stella just, left.
Suggests it was more like sending a package.
Which is brilliant local code, isn't it? Tells you immediately she was pushed out, probably fired.
But they don't say fired. Sending a package is so much tidier, less confrontational.
It protects Brian, maybe. Allows them to acknowledge what happened without directly criticizing the landowner. Keeps things smoother on the surface.
Fascinating how language works in these communities. So what's Stella doing now?
Well, she's helping out temporarily at another place, Brookfield, while she looks for other jobs. Seems straightforward enough.
But nothing straightforward in the gossip mill, is it?
Not at all. Someone, Josh, I think, immediately assumes she's playing an angle. So she's got her feet under the table at Brookfield, implying she plans to stay, maybe take over.
So suspicion kicks in straight away, even though she's just temping and job hunting.
But others immediately shut that down.
Yeah.
She's not interested in Brookfield. Very definite.
So you get this clash of perspectives. Is she just moving on professionally, or is she maneuvering?
And it shows how, in a place like this, your career moves are never just about your CV. They're interpreted through local history, past grudges, assumptions about your motives. Your reputation is kind of community property.
Okay, so alongside the Stella gossip, the conversation drifts into another classic pub debate. City versus country.
Triggered by Rory being there, who's clearly marked as the city person.
And immediately the labels come out. Someone calls the rural character a yoke. Just like that.
Instant stereotyping. But Rory gives as good as he gets, doesn't he?
He does. He mocks the city stereotype, all skyscrapers and suits, then contrasts it with the imagined rural uniform of fleeces and wax jackets.
And then he does this lovely little thing defending his own outfit. His sweatshirt isn't just any sweatshirt.
It's Underwood's finest.
Exactly. Even in the middle of this urban-rural debate, he anchors himself back to a local brand. It's a nod to local pride right there.
And he clarifies where he actually lives. Not some generic city, but Docklands. East End, near Canary Wharf.
Describes his flat looking out onto the water near the Olympic Park, giving specific, real details of his life. It's not just concrete, it's water, views, specific places.
Countering the stereotype with actual lived reality, and then comes that amazing detail.
The urban farm near the Olympic Park.
Yeah, he mentions it has sheep and cows, goats, hens, right there in the city.
It's perfect, isn't it? The city guy lives near this curated version of the very rural life the others are immersed in and maybe complaining about. Little pocket of countryside in the metropolis.
It sort of bridges the gap in an unexpected way. After that, the talk seems to get a bit more relaxed, just general pub chat.
Yeah, they bump into Paul. He'd been held up, missed the quiz that got canceled anyway.
And we get a little snippet of his life, too. He's recently broken up with his boyfriend, Etienne. Just a casual mention, part of the flow.
Life goes on, even with all the drama. But people are getting tired. It's Thursday night.
Right, the reality check. Someone's up at 6-0, Justin's never up before 8. That farm work clearly takes its toll.
They joke about doing shots, mentioning someone called Sabrina Thwaite, but common sense prevails.
Gin and tonics it is. More sensible.
But they're not ready to call it a night just yet. They talk about maybe getting cocktails later.
Ending with that slightly weary joke. The night is young, and so are we.
Yeah, a bit of defiance against the exhaustion and maybe the day's tensions. Trying to find a bit of fun still. Hashtag tag outro.
So wrapping this up, we dove into what seemed like everyday local stuff.
And found it absolutely packed with tension. Financial battles spilling into public, family loyalties tested, the sheer physical reality of farm work bumping up against, well, admin work.
And it all gets filtered through this lens of community morality, doesn't it? Especially when land is involved.
Absolutely. That line between what's your private business and what's the community's business seems incredibly thin there. Brian policing Justin's shares, the gossip about Stella's job hunt.
It shows how individual actions are constantly weighed against their potential impact on everyone else, on the collective. Nothing happens in a vacuum.
Especially not when it concerns the future of the land. That phrase again.
Which brings us back to that core conflict. If your personal financial choice, like selling shares, is seen by your neighbors as genuinely risking the community's future,
Does that decision forfeit its right to be private? Is it automatically public domain?
and if it is, like Brian clearly felt, does that justify the kind of public confrontation and shaming we saw in the church, turning a business dispute into essentially a public moral trial?
It's a heavy question, you know. What happens when personal finance and community legacy collide so directly? Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
So
See you next time.
What are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep. That's,
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
yep. That's the ball bar. That's.
This one.
Yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline. I mean,
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever